Hi everyone, welcome to week 2 of your home learning pack. This week we'll be focusing on Witches and Wizards, SPAG, so spelling, punctuation and grammar. It'll be very similar to last week. We'll be going through each question one at a time, and then at the very end we'll have a look at this week's new edition of spellings. So my first exercise says, write out the sentence in your best handwriting and add the correct punctuation. Now right away, it makes me think about my golden sentence. We talked about this last week, so hopefully you'll remember. I'll give you 10 seconds to have a think about what 3 things a golden sentence might involve. Let's see if you got it right. So a golden sentence needs a capital letter at the beginning of a sentence, a full stop at the end of a sentence, and finger spaces in between our words. We need to make sure that each sentence follows this golden rule and then check to see if there is any other punctuation missing. So for my first exercise, let's have a look. Winnie the Witch had a black fluffy cat called Wilbur. Now straight away I know that I need to add my capital letter at the beginning of the sentence. I also need to add this capital letter for this word specifically because it's a name. So even if this word was in the middle of my sentence, I'd still need to make sure there's a capital letter there. So Winnie the Witch had a black fluffy cat called Wilbur. I need a full stop at the end as well. And when I write out my sentence in my beautiful handwriting, I'll make sure I use my finger spaces. Now there's also 2 words in the sentence, black, fluffy, and these are describing words. Can you think what we call describing words, what fancy name we have for them? They're called adjectives. Good. So when we have 2 or more adjectives next to each other, we always need to make sure that we add a comma, just like this. I'm going to read through my sentence again to make sure there's nothing missing. Winnie the Witch had a black fluffy cat called Wilbur. Excellent. Let's have a look at my next sentence. She enjoyed flying on her brown wooden broomstick. Straight away, I'm adding a capital letter at the beginning. I'm adding a full stop at the end. She enjoyed flying on her brown wooden broomstick. Now I see the words brown, wooden. Again, these are describing words. These are adjectives, and there's 2 there. So we need to make sure that we have a comma in between, just like this. And then I'm reading my sentence again to make sure there's nothing else. She enjoyed flying on her brown wooden broomstick. Excellent. Let's have a look at our last sentence for this exercise. Winnie lives in a black house with black doors, black chairs, and black floors. Now I need to add my capital letter at the beginning of my sentence, and then I need to add my full stop at the end of the sentence. Make sure your full stop is at the end of the sentence, not the end of the line, because it does make a difference. So Winnie lives in a black house with black doors, black chairs, and black floors. Now I need to add commas. Can anyone think why I might need to add some commas in this sentence? What reason? The reason is that we have a list. Winnie lives in a black house with black doors. So I need to add a comma after that because it's a list. There's black chairs as well, and black floors. So I need to add my commas there for the list. Winnie lives in a black house with black doors, black chairs, and black floors. Well done, we're done with our first exercise. After I added in all the missing punctuation, I wrote out my sentences on a piece of paper using my best handwriting, just like you can see on the screen. If you're not able to do this part, don't worry, but it would be good to try working on your handwriting when you get the chance, even if it's just a sentence or 2. So you need to remember your ascenders, the letters that go high above your line. You need to remember your descenders, the letters that go below your line. You need to use your George Spicer cursive handwriting, and you also need to add finger spaces in between your words. This next exercise says, can you complete the sentences with the appropriate conjunctions? I'll give you 10 seconds to have a think about what a conjunction is, and if you can you spot the conjunctions in my sentences? So a conjunction is a word that connects two sentences together. Now let's have a look at the conjunctions in my sentences. I have found the word and, found the word because, and I found the word so. Did you get those? The conjunction in this first sentence is the word and. The word and tells me that something else has happened. So my sentence says, her magical wand flew out of her hand and hit poor Wilbur on his head. Now this is just one example of how you could end your sentence, but there's lots of other ways. You just need to make sure that your sentence flows and that it makes sense. Let's have a look at the next one. Wilbur put his paws over his eyes because he knew how clumsy Winnie was. The conjunction in this sentence is the word because. Because tells us that we should give a reason. And the reason why Wilbur put his paws over his eyes was that he knew how clumsy Winnie was. Again, you could use your own example, just make sure that it makes sense. For my third sentence, the conjunction is the word so. The word so can be used to give a reason for what is happening in the sentence, similar to the word because. So this sentence says, Winnie grew an enormous pumpkin so that she could invite the entire village over for pie. Again, remember, this is just an example. You can use your own. This exercise also included an extension part. The extension said that you should encourage your child to extend their sentences further. So, for example, how could they make these sentences into a story? Now, this is a chance for you to be creative, and you should remember to include some of the important things that you have learned, like conjunction words, adjectives, and commas for lists. The next exercise says, can you complete the sentences by adding apostrophes where needed? Now, we talked about apostrophes last week, and we said that there could be two reasons why you might need to use an apostrophe. Can you remember what those reasons are? I'll give you 10 seconds to think about it. Okay, so you might want to use a possessive apostrophe, and this is used to tell us that something belongs to someone. You could also use an apostrophe when you put two words together and miss out the letters. We need to add an apostrophe where the missing letters are. So let's have a look at my first sentence. Dulcie and Sienna's magical potion was nearly complete. Now for this sentence, I'm thinking about the magical potion, and I'm thinking, who does it belong to? It belongs to Dulcie and Sienna. So I'm going to add my apostrophe here right before the S to show that the magical potion belongs to Dulcie and Sienna. Well done, let's go to the next question. Miss Conway's broom was always breaking. It wasn't reliable. For this sentence, I'm thinking about the word broom. Who does the broom belong to? It belongs to Miss Conway. So again, I'm going to add my apostrophe here right before the S to show that the broom belongs to Miss Conway. For this sentence, we also have another apostrophe. We need to add an apostrophe here in the word wasn't. Now this word was made by combining two other words. Can you have a think and think about what two words were combined to make the word wasn't? Was not. It wasn't reliable. It was not reliable. So we've combined two words to make the word wasn't. Lovely. Let's have a look at my next sentence. Tom's wizard hat was tall, black, and pointy. For this sentence, I'm thinking about the wizard hat. Who does the wizard hat belong to? It belongs to Tom. So I'm going to add my apostrophe here, right before the S in the word Tom's. Tom's wizard hat was tall, black, and pointy. Lovely. And my last sentence. Can I just learn one more spell? Anders asked his mom. Now, for this one, we have an apostrophe in the word can't, because again, we've combined two different words to make this word. Can you think about what two words we've combined? We've combined the words can, not. So can't I just learn one more spell? Anders asked his mom. Well done. Now this week we also had some spellings in our home learning pack, and you'll have spellings every week from now on. Some of the words might seem quite tricky, but I'd like everyone to have a go because it's always good to try and challenge ourselves. Now for the spellings, we can use the look, say, cover, write, check method. I think of it as look, say, cover, write, and check. So looking at my first word, I'm going to look at it first. Next, I'm going to say it out loud. Beautiful. Now I'm going to cover it up. It's on my screen, so I'm not looking. Next, I'm going to try to write it. Okay, thinking about my neat handwriting, maybe some of my cursive handwriting. Beautiful. And next, I'm going to check. Now, did I get it right? Yes, I did. Well done, Miss Tofferides. And I'd like you to do this with the rest of the words. You can do these maybe 3 times this week or as many times as you can just to practice. And as the extension, I'd like you to use a dictionary to find the definition of each word. So the definition means the meaning of each word. So what does the word beautiful actually mean? Okay, I'd like you to have a go at your spellings as well this week, and you'll have those every week from now on as well. Well done for today, and I'll see you next week.